Welcome to Conversations of the Soul. I am one of your co-hosts, Dr. Kiki Michelle.
Hi, yes, this is Coach Kendall Anderson, aka Coach Ka for Coach KA.
Awesome. And Mr. Carlyle, who's normally here, is on the set of a movie. But we'd like to welcome you to our weekly broadcast. It is our pleasure to talk with you and to discuss relevant, real topics. Okay? Yes, y'all. We keeps it real. Want to give a shout out to Boss Television Network. They've been in our corner. Of course, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am Kiki Michelle to catch any episodes you may have missed. But we are excited to be here with you today. And Coach K, what's
Yes,
going on with all this cancel culture? What's
I
up?
I know it's becoming to be very popular, don't you think?
It is. It is. So, for our guests who may not know, cancel culture is a term that we've coined, our society has coined, um, whereas people will actually throw you out of their circle. They will throw you out of their group. They'll try to disturb your popularity. If you have a show, if you're an artist, if you have a business, anything that you're doing, um, if there's something said or done that the culture does not like, they will cancel you. They
Yeah,
will petition and do this whole big campaign on cancel culture. So
yeah.
we're going to talk about it. Have we gone too far as a society with cancel culture?
In some aspects we probably have. We're getting overly sensitive, but I think as a people, we're catching on to what the bigger picture has been doing to people that have been trying to transform the world in a positive light. A lot of times, you look at history tells you that sometimes when someone gets really popular, like a celebrity or a public figure, and they're making great changes for the good, I've seen the opposite happen when governments step in, like a Martin Luther King, if you want to put it as an example, making great change, trying to bring people together and have unity. For people like you and I, Dr. Kiki, that's a good thing, right? But then for
Right.
someone that wants to control culture, wants to control society, that's not a good thing. So then what they try to do is they try to defame yourself, defame the person, try to throw shade on them or bring up lies. And the problem with that is if the culture, the people believe the lies, that person may have a very hard time to make corrective change in the world.
Absolutely. And the thing is I do believe that people have a right to, state what they like and they dislike. And, we don't have to always agree. We don't have to necessarily
Right.
be disagreeable. But I also think that at a point, I can disagree with something or someone or a scenario or actions or whatever it is, and I should be able to just say, wow, that wasn't cool, or however I'm affected, without trying to rally everybody else to pull and shut the person, the object, the thing down. That's the part that I think that I agree has possibly gone too far.
I agree.
I think that at a point, so many people just take what the media says as face value. Some people don't take the time to research and bring up their own analysis and try to get an understanding for themselves. So they will just do this monkey see, monkey do kind of a business where they're like, well, hey, well, they said don't listen to so and so anymore, or don't shop at their place anymore, and these things like that. And it's like, well, are we in a society where we are innocent until proven guilty, or are we just proven guilty and now wow, let's make them pay,
I think you're absolutely correct. I agree with everything you just said. I think that I think the media has too much control over the population's decision, over the population's opinion, because they put out there what they want us to see. And like you said, we have to do further, I think, investigation and further research to get a consensus of what is going on. Prime example, we can talk about politicians. You have certain politicians that can appear to look good in front of the public's eye and the media will push that. Then you got other politicians that look like they're crazy out there, but yet they're making great changes in the background. You know what I mean? Making good stride in the background, and for the people see that because the media has portrayed them to be something that they're really not. So
Yes.
that could
How
play
dare
a part. Yes, that can play a part in our decision making as far as canceling them. So we have to be careful on everything we're seeing out in the public. We have to really get into our intuitions and really get into the research part of things to find out what's really going on behind the scenes. Because everything that I've learned over the years, when people are really trying to make positive change into the world and bring the world more closer together, they have been the most scrutinized. They have been talked about the most. They have been put down the most. They have been canceled the most, because they're trying to make a big difference. And we have to be careful on canceling them based on someone else's opinion.
absolutely. And then too, we're all human. So
Just true
um,
too.
people do stuff. Life happens, and I'm not trying to give anybody a pass on misbehaving or committing a crime or any of that, because you guys know that's not what we stand for.
Right.
But in a world of humans, life happens. So if somebody is in a scenario where they make a mistake, or it is founded by a jury that this could possibly have happened, or um, at what point do we allow grace? Like,
Right.
we just want to throw the person and all their accolades and contributions to our society away because of a poor choice, and then once they go and they serve their time, people are still holding what they've done against them versus saying, well, we'll just have to see. Time will tell. Is this person a reformed person? You know, can people live beyond their mistakes? Can our culture give people a little more grace?
That's a good question. I think we should. I think that in the culture that view may be split. Some people just can't get over the fact, and it depends on who it is. And like I said, I think a lot of our beliefs are filtered through our beliefs. Meaning, prime example, long time ago, a football player named Michael Vick. I got in trouble in Atlanta, where you're at, with the dog fighting and stuff like that. Now, he paid a price, right? He paid a price. He went to jail. He served his time. He did a lot of community service, and he showed act of kindness, and he's shown that he has changed. So when it was time for him to come back into football and all of those things, there was still many people hating on him. They wouldn't let it go. They wouldn't let it go. They wouldn't let it go. But like I said, you had a split review because some embraced them and then others just couldn't let it go. So I think you're going to have a split review. And then I think there's times where I feel, what do you think? I think race still plays a part in people's mind because the next person can do the same thing and may not have to go to the same extreme as a Michael Vick. They're immediately giving grace. Right. And I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying there seems to be within our culture, race still plays a part to this day.
You said so many gems. All
Yes.
right, so Mike Vick, oh my God, I
Right.
really supported Mike Vick. Okay, I'm
Right.
one of
Right.
those that had season tickets, and I
Yeah.
only supported when he was playing. Now I know that's that's not necessarily a positive thing, but yeah, I supported him. And then the way the league
Yes.
handled that, I believe they did what they felt was necessary to do.
Sure.
However, you had folks like Roethlisberger and the gentleman out of Baltimore. There was like people have actually been served with real evidence and proof of higher crimes. I'm not saying dog fighting isn't wrong, but
Right.
people have actually raped people, they've murdered them, and they were still allowed to continue to play. And they were given some kind
Yes.
of pass or a pat on the back, and it's like, whoa. And I don't know if it's because they felt like he was so arrogant, Mike Vick was so arrogant that played into it.
Hmm.
But you bring up a very good uh, point, because not to expose people, because that's definitely not what I'm about on any level.
Hmm.
But you have, like, the likes of R. Kelly, and now Ti and Tiny,
Yeah.
being accused of really serious crimes. Um, but then you have the gentleman in Hollywood. I'm blocking on his name, of course, who was Caucasian, who did a lot more to the stars. And, it was almost like he was able to kind of settle some things, or, you didn't really hear as much drawback in the media in terms of the same types of behaviors. But this cancel culture, and I think it is perpetuated by the media, it does seem to, it does seem to just distort what it is that we see as our reality. And unfortunately, we have to, um, just be brave enough to try to discern and sort through the details, such that we're able to make better decisions, and not be so quick to cancel people. Hey, if and I'm all for, if a person is getting poor customer service, and they're in a store, or they're getting a service, and they don't feel like the service was up to par. By all means, you can choose and decide how you spend your money. Hey, if you're getting poor service, then maybe I'm not going to come back over here anymore. Maybe I'll take my need for my service somewhere else, and patronize someone who can actually appreciate a customer. So, but at a point, you know, I think sometimes people try to just, seek to just throw the baby out with the bathwater with this whole cancel culture. And I've seen it on several spectrums, regardless of race, of creed, culture, religion, and it's just like every little thing somebody says or does is offensive. Like, now
Right.
we're trying to remove books from the shelves. We're omitting songs out of, circulation, because someone felt offended or left out, or felt like some kind of bias was rendered to them. Coach K, what you think?
No, I agree with you. We're removing certain things, and then on top of that, we're adding certain things to education. Like, for example, I've heard in New York City, I forgot which politician, but they want to add sex education to the kindergarten classes. And I thought that was a bit too far. I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Adding sex education to a kindergarten class, I think it's a bit too early for the kids. What are they trying to do? And then you hear about different cartoons, and they're adding different sexual tendencies in these cartoons already for these young kids to kind of look at. I'm just thinking they're exploiting things too quickly and too fast, in my opinion.
And that's a good point.
So they are, yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was saying, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I really, I believe that there is a more dark agenda behind a lot of, decisions
Hmm.
that are being made. And that is one of the reasons I've actually tried to seek out public policy, and so that I can have a seat at the table, and, offer an opinion that's based on what I believe is moralistically and value based. But you're absolutely right. I mean, I would want to know what is the central thing behind introducing sex education to kindergartens.
Right.
Now,
Right.
I will also say that it is important for people to know the proper terms for their body parts.
Hmm.
Our children should know the proper names for their anatomy.
Right.
I think because our society has actually gone so far to put several images in our so-called cartoons don't even look like kitty cartoons. Okay, I'm just gonna be real. You know,
Right.
the dancing, the songs, the certain things in our world is based upon um, a sexualized type of atmosphere. And so children are being exposed whether we have the conversation with them or not. So I do believe personally that we should talk to children younger. I do believe we
Yes,
should have conversations with them. However, I'm also cautious to ask, well, what's on the agenda in the classes? Like, what are you going to be telling a child? You know, are we just, going to talk about the birds and the bees? Or are you actually trying to groom children so that they can then be victims and be victimized as they move forward? Because there's a whole another ball game of pedophilia out there that people don't want to talk about. So sometimes I think that
absolutely.
some of the images are being put in front of the children. I mean, if somebody's trying to buy a car, why is it sexualized on the commercial? Like it has nothing to do
Correct.
with driving that car. Or wow, you need this lawnmower. It's always some kind of innuendo. So children are being
Yeah,
exposed, and I think it is important for the parents to have real conversations. Like you might want to put this conversation off, but you need to have this conversation early. And I had that conversation early with my own children because I don't want them to get the misinformation from someone who would seek to devour them by telling them the wrong thing. So, you know, let me tell you the truth. And then if you hear something else, it's up to you to decide the best decision. But at least I told you the truth. And I think that's sometimes where
absolutely.
we get into trouble because we're like, oh, we're scared to have, well, it's not ready. Oh, she's not ready. Oh, no, he's not ready. Trust me, when you think they're asleep or they're online or they're hanging with their buddies or they're playing a game or you think they're at the bowling alley, trust me, they are being exposed. And you want to be able to arm your child with the correct information so that they can make an informed decision. You know, um,
Absolutely.
I had a training class earlier, and I had to tell the school, listen, there's a whole thought in our culture, as to what sex is and what sex is not.
Hmm.
So you need to have conversations with your children about oral sex. They're being told it's not oral sex. Sex is not oral sex is not sex.
Right.
And so they're coming down with these great big diseases and conditions because somebody in the street told them, oh, it's okay. And we are at home saying, well, we're going to wait till next year. Oh, and then next year come, oh, we're going to wait 6 more months. And they're already doing things that you have no idea that they're doing. So I think knowledge is
Absolutely.
power, but I would want to know what are they, what's the curriculum built upon? Because then I don't want people to try to brainwash children towards what they want them to start accepting, and doing if it varies from how I would like to raise my own child. Just my opinion.
Oh, I agree. Oftentimes, popular opinions can outweigh your opinion for your child. Meaning, I've learned that you can teach your child right from wrong, or you can teach your child the birds and the bees, but then oftentimes culture will come back around and they have a different opinion. And if they're not grounded in the truth, like what you're saying, they can be swayed to believe what the popular opinion is saying about sex. For me, growing up in the times that we grew up in, Dr. Kiki, they was always saying, sex, you should wait for sex until marriage. But even back in our heydays, people weren't waiting for marriage to have sex. It
Y'all
was
what?
sex is something. I don't think everybody was waiting like we were trying to wait. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own time, and for me, sex is a sacred thing. It's a sacred thing, and I don't think they're teaching that sex is sacred. I don't think they're doing that. In fact, sex is we're sexual beings. I mean, how else did we get here? Come on, guys, we got here somehow. You know what I mean? And I think that if you grew up
Patch?
in
Okay, you
a
patch? I'm just kidding.
yeah, we should touch. We should do all of those things. Don't get me wrong. I just think that. Now, what do you think about this? Do you think dealing with sex and everything? Do you think religion um, played a part in how people view sex?
I mean, just
Am I saying good or bad? But do you think it? Yeah, I think. Do you think religion played a part in us how we see sex? Because I personally feel that if you grew up in a religious environment, whether you went to church or you had a religious home, I felt that sex was viewed upon as nasty, and you shouldn't do that until marriage. But I would love to hear your opinion on it, because a lot of times people will rebel against that if they're feeling good about themselves towards a certain individual, and whether they have safe sex or not, people do what they do behind closed doors. But would love to get your opinion.
well, I mean, I really think that our culture has um, brainwashed people to just don't care about morals and don't care about values and what's wholesome and what's best. So yes, I do think that
Hmm.
religion has played a big role in people's visions and versions and opinions about the act. But I also think that, it's up to an individual person to decide, you know, if they're going to walk through a door or not, and I think that's why it's so
Right.
important for us to have candid conversations, you know. I know for a fact that many people want to wait until a child, is 16 to have these conversations, and and then we're going to just rush through it in about 25 seconds or less, and then we are going to not answer any questions, and by the way, wait until you find a spouse. And so and it just shows that there is a part of humanity that's still uncomfortable with what's natural. Like, I do believe that
Right.
certain acts are reserved for marriage, but we live in a society where people don't even want to value marriage. So who am I to tell a
Right.
person, what they can and can't do? I stand on the truth of what I believe, but at the same time, this whole conversation, I would really hope that it's not something that is a conversation in a kindergarten class. Like, that
Right.
whole concept should be canceled. That is cancel culture worthy, you know, because
That's cancel culture worthy.
it is, because I don't think that children have enough information to make sound decisions. And if
I don't
I'm
even think they're thinking that way.
right,
Think about it.
right.
I don't even think they're thinking like that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I agree. And if we are planting these seeds in their minds, it's 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 advantageous for those that are teaching to gear them a certain way. So then that brings me to another point. Well, who's in the classrooms? Who's teaching?
Right.
What are your um what is your hidden agenda in exposing a child to certain things, so that we can be desensitized to when we're being victimized. We can be desensitized to when something doesn't feel safe. That's a problem. So yeah, I think that conversation should take place, but in proper context. Just like,
Hmm.
as an educator, you see abused children that come in and out. But guess what? Because everything in our world is so sexualized, why is it that, a third grader knows how to twerk? And it's just a lot going on right now. So it makes it difficult for like a mandated reporter to be able to say, well, I think something's going on with little Sally or little JoJo, because our culture is so fluid in what appears, in my personal opinion, to be doing too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally stand on the same premises as you as well. We're doing a little bit too much, and we have to streamline a lot of things, like what you're saying, especially with the sex with the little kids. Because as I was adding to what you were saying, at that age, you're not really even thinking about sex. I mean, you may be thinking about, oh, she's cute or he's cute and stuff like that. But that's a lot of play stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And just want to be friends and holding hands and stuff like that, or that's my girlfriend or boyfriend. But outside of that, back then it's like, ew. Your mind says, I don't want to get the cooties and stuff like that. So you're not even thinking like that. Sex, I'm going to have sex with somebody at that age. It's just not even there. So to put it in the kindergarten class, I think, like you said earlier, there's a darker agenda, and you
Absolutely.
might be trying to, pervert the people, and it's just not fair. And that's when we have to cancel that and step up as a people.
I mean, can't and so and that's just it. So like our original topic is cancel culture. Have we gone too far? So if we
Right.
agree that well, this agenda, needs to be canceled, you know, who gets to decide what's cancel worthy or not? Is it because you're just upset you're gonna take your bat and ball and go home, or is it because something a human right was violated? We're just people are just going through, and then like even with during the pandemic, everybody hasn't struggled. So I've seen people who are well known and celebrities. They're still celebrating and living their best life. They're doing the most for their 1 and 2 year old birthday parties and things of that nature, while other people are fighting for bare necessities just to live. And because they are able to continue on with their lifestyle, people want to just cancel them. Like, well, that was tasteless for you to take that trip. It was tasteless for you to throw that big birthday party. So at a point, are we canceling people based on anything moralistic, or are we hating? Are you just jealous because
Ah.
somebody's doing something that you wish you could do or you wanted to do? Or, are you upset that you're struggling and somebody else is not? That's not a reason to cancel somebody, you know?
That's true. That's true. That is so true. You're right. We cancel people for various reasons, and oftentimes that reason isn't always based on truth. It's based on, like you said, jealousy or envy or even hate at that point too. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, guys, because back in the day, if somebody did something, you just decided, well, you know what? I'm not watching that show no more. Or I'm not listening to
Hmm.
that song anymore. It's not this whole guys don't listen, don't tune in, don't support, don't download. It's like there's this whole like anti-support agenda that is focused on destroying lives, and it doesn't necessarily have to be based on something that you've done. It could just be on the strength of, what, I don't like them, you know and is that fair? Is that what our world has evolved to? You know, and I
Right.
have to
I don't.
say that. Oh, go ahead, Coach.
No, no, no. I cut you off. You go right ahead, Dr. Kiki.
No, no, no. I'm just saying. It's at a point. A lot of things do need to be canceled. I'm just gonna say. Some of the
Right. Right.
a lot of agendas and things that we have embraced as a society. It's a fad. It's a fleeting moment. Everybody's like, oh, we should do this. Oh, you got to do this, and then next thing you know, nobody's talking about it. It's irrelevant. But meanwhile, most times something of substance, people want to put it up under a microscope and examine it, and then run tests on it, and evaluate it before they even get behind it.
Right. Exactly. I think we're living in a society now, and I think it was prophesied this as well, that what's now going on, what's right is now wrong, and what's wrong is now right. Things are kind of flipped now. So, like you said, when we put something out there that is with substance, we want to examine that. We want to dissect that. We want to dismiss that. But something that can corrupt, something that is not good for people as a whole, we kind of embrace that for some strange reason. And I don't think we realize the power that we really have as a society. We have to stop giving our energy, our attention away. Because wherever our attention goes, there goes our energy as well. And if we're always giving our attention to what media is saying or not saying, we can forever be controlled by what they want to do. Sometimes a lot of what they're saying in the media are just distractions to
Mhm.
what they are really doing behind the scenes. You see what
Right,
I'm saying? And
right.
what they're doing behind the scenes isn't always for our well-being, but when they come out in front, it may appear that it's for our well-being, but in actuality, it's really not. So I think a lie mixed with the truth can really confuse, really confuse.
You know,
You have to really know what's going on.
exactly. And I think we've got to be careful because at a point, People are so quick to want to force a new agenda that we're throwing away like the core values that really kind of got us to this place. I can't pretend to say
Right.
that I understood or agreed with everything that I've known and have been born into, but honestly, those core values have really been my foundation and my source of strength just matriculating through life. So people want to sit up and just tear down the very foundations that the bridge that brought them over. Okay, so
Right.
then what? Because again, a lot of this stuff is fleeting, and so then we're left with,
Hmm.
we're destroying where we come from. We're gonna just capitalize on where we are, and we have no idea where we're going. And I think we've just got to be
Exactly.
so careful with just being so quick to, discard a person or even believe rumors and, believe lies and things, just because
That is
somebody,
so true.
yeah, go ahead, coach, because, I'm about to get started.
Yeah, me too, girl. Dr. Kiki, I was just going to add to that because you sparked something in me because I think we can cancel each other out oftentimes. Prime example, what I mean by canceling each other out. Back in the day, you heard of Tupac and you heard of Biggie Smalls. Biggie Smalls just the other day, they celebrated, I forgot how many years, but of his death. And what I mean by the culture, we have to be careful, I feel, because if the bigger picture dealing with the government and those that kind of rule and from the behind the scenes, when they see that we aren't together, they can play off of our hatred. They can play off of our jealousy and envy, like you were saying earlier, and they can play off of the culture's mindset, and they can create this type of feud between, example, dealing with the music industry, rappers that cause both of them to die. And they can use our hatred towards each other to cancel each other out. And now nobody wins. Tupac is gone. Biggie's gone. I mean, the world is still moving on and on. But what I mean by that is just simply saying we have to be careful not to feed into what they want us to, feed into, because at the end of the day, we can lose each other. And I think the more we are divided, the more that they can control us as a people.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And that's what I'm saying. We've got to do our research behind, oh wow, don't watch the Flintstones anymore. And
Right,
with the
right.
whole, Dr. Seuss books. It's not a secret as to how, their books have, biases in them. But we have to understand that as we continue to say, oh, I'm offended. Oh, that bothered me, it's a snowball domino effect. And so at a point,
Yeah.
some people just don't like what something represents and or who's it representing. And then there's this whole agenda to just silence them and destroy them. And you're absolutely right, Coach K, because just with Biggie and Tupac, you know, that those were still two very, very successful beings whose lives were cut off too short over
Yeah.
nonsense. And see, and I
Right.
think that's what is like just the way I feel towards this whole cancel culture is it's nonsensical based. If there's true
Yep.
facts, like I'm an advocate for just about everything in the world. That's positive, that brings life, that's good and wholesome. I mean, I support so many different views. So I feel like I'm pretty open minded because even if I don't agree with certain things, I understand the importance of you being able to have the freedom to do what you want if you agree with it. So I'm not trying to control anybody
Right.
or anything. I just like to do what's right, and I support things that I
Hmm.
think are right. But you have people who they don't have anything good from their base. Their base is evil, it's dark, it's negative, it's divisive. And then these are the people who are Oh yeah, and that's all it really takes is a rumor. That's all it really takes is a half truth
Yeah.
or a whole lie. And we got to be careful about what we hear and what we accept, because most times people are going to just tell their side of the story, which is very tainted, is slanted, and it's sometimes not dressed with facts. So they're going to dress it up with,
Correct.
something that's more eye catching and more just believable, even though it distorts the truth, just to destroy someone else. So, we can call it, oh, they just hating on me, oh, they just jealous, oh, haters are going to hate. But at the core of that, it's something more sinister. And it actually is like costing people everything, you know?
Hmm.
And
It
like the
is.
guy
It really
Weinstein, I
is.
couldn't think
Why
of
do
his
you?
name earlier, but Weinstein
Oh,
was
okay.
doing the same things as R. Kelly and Bill Cosby, but
Yep.
cancel culture works differently in different circles, and that's the power of a cancel culture.
Absolutely.
If you're in a circle, but you know
Hmm.
what, we hate that you did that, but we're gonna look past it. We're gonna pull you off the spotlight, but we still gonna take care of you. If you're still good, then that's the kind of treatment you get in certain circles. If they didn't like you anyhow, wow, this is our opportunity to take you all the way down and out. So no, you're not going to benefit for anything. We're going to pull you down. You're not getting a dime. We're going to put you through court. We're going to jail you. So we've got to be very, very careful. But you know what, Coach K, I have to say, I mean,
Uh-huh.
some of these accusations are old as dirt. Okay, it's like it's nothing new under
Yeah.
the sun. Like, why are we still putting ourselves in these positions, men and women, where something can be brought up and talked about in terms of, wow, they did this to me, they did that to me,
It almost you're right. It almost make it look like recently we dealing with recent facts here. I remember the governor Como, I think his name is in New York, got some accusations against him, and I'm not saying right or wrong because I didn't really feed into it too much. But what I did notice that each week it seems like there was a woman coming out. He did this. He did this. He did this. So it's almost like you said, it's old news, but yet it's being presented now. So why is it taking years and years and years for this thing to come out now? It just makes you wonder. That's all I'm trying to say. It just makes you wonder what's really, going on here, because this stuff should have been came out. But I think, do you think money can get people out of trouble? And do you think that, because I'm going with Bill Cosby, he had a lot of money. So I'm thinking in some cases, money can't buy you freedom, or money can't get you off the hook if they don't like you. But if they like you and you got money, money can get you off the hook. What do you think?
Absolutely. And, I think that, they were trying to tell Bill Cosby to stay in his place, because he wanted to buy
Right,
him,
right,
okay? And because he had the money
right,
and the
right,
connections to do it and still went on to perpetuate it, they tried to teach him a lesson. Now, with Cuomo, I think I haven't really delved into it. I have seen the headlines, but I
me
think
too.
that people, and as a woman, I am a full-fledged woman. I love men, okay? But as a
Right,
woman,
right.
I'm going to just say that women, if somebody is inviting you up to their room at 2 in the morning, what's going down? Come on, y'all not going to listen to music and listen and watch videos. Ain't nobody,
Right.
let's stop trying to ride the wave, the money wave, the power wave, the promotion wave, whatever it is, the wave we're trying to ride, and then turn around and cry victim. Now, that part of it, I have a problem with. Now, and I do support the Me Too
That's what.
movement if it's a legitimate situation. But these folks will sit up and
Right.
set people up just so weeks, months, years later, they can say, "Oh, well, this is what happened. Here's the proof, and I videotaped it, and this is what happened." And see, that part of everything makes it difficult for real victims to come forward, because if someone is legitimately being victimized or taken advantage of, or felt like they had no choice. I mean, because what, Atlanta is the sex trafficking, capital of the United States. It's a big hub. So I'm
It's
not
crazy.
speaking
It's a big
about
hub.
victims. If somebody's being victimized, you need to stand up, you need to come forward, you need to get help. We will help you. But you have this other, just uh oldie but goodie, where people are going out of their ways to get what they want, and then once they get it, now I'm gonna tell on you. Or if there's a misunderstanding and I thought you were supposed to be giving me $1 million and you ended up giving me $10, oh, I'm really mad. So now I'm gonna destroy you, and or if we have something where I'm benefiting, you're benefiting. Well, when you cut me off, now I'm telling on you. I think that's wrong. And we do need to hold people accountable. Victims need to be
Yes.
protected, okay? Because I think predators and people who pry or who prey on people and others, they benefit from the fact of, and you better not say nothing, or if you say something, they're not going to believe you, or so they've been benefiting from this culture. But at the same time, you have everyone who is trying to get all they can out of life at any expense, who are now trying to double back as a victim.
Yep. I agree. I agree 110% on that. That's pretty bad. Do you think that why do you think drama sells? That's a good question.
That question is a very good question. Drama
Yeah.
sells because I think it helps people to remove themselves from their own reality.
Yep. That's what I was gonna say
People
too.
sometimes
Yeah.
get bored, and they, their surroundings are too familiar, so they want to, transcend to, oh, what's going on, in this culture or this community. The problem with drama is people don't understand that's all fantasy. Like, you do have
Right.
people who act like hood rats every day. You do have people who are cussing and
Right.
screaming and fighting and flipping tables and calling each other names in certain areas. But that's really not how most people act all day, every day. And so to take a
Right.
depiction of somebody's worst and then capitalize on that, why are we signing up for those roles?
Right.
Why is reality TV, where they're doing the most, so attractive? What is it with our culture that's what we want to feed our spirits and watch? And if I can't watch it, I'm gonna put it on Netflix, and I'm gonna I'm gonna record it so I can come back and what's up with that? And see, the thing is, it's like people
Right.
who don't know you, they judge you based on the images they see in the drama.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that was a good question to ask because I was kind of pity patting off what you were saying about the victims and stuff like that because, you know, with the drama, it just people are drawn to it and we make our own conclusions, but it seems like we don't it's not based on truth. You know what I mean? So drama sells because I think this is what the culture wants. Do the culture really want drama or do the culture really want the truth? And I just think drama just sells way more than the truth. The truth is something we have to look at, and that's something that many people don't want to look at themselves.
And it could be a whole nother payday. You know,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
you guys have cut me off. Oh, well, now I can go write a book. Oh, wow, I could get me a movie deal. This is going to be great. And see, we have to understand that as you move into different areas of life, there is going to be a vice that you are going to make known is your vice. People are gonna be able to tell what you like if you don't tell it. They're gonna be able to discern what is your downfall, or they're gonna, they'll figure out a way to figure out who you are and what makes you tick and what can bring you down. And so people will study you and present the very thing to in an effort to try to destroy you. They can present as a client, they can present as a friend, they can be a business deal. And then over time, you didn't even see that this was your downfall walking into your life. You didn't even see that, oh my God, 10 years later, they have every interaction, every call, every email, every meeting, every hotel receipt. Like, you're
Yep.
surprised, but they were just working. Like,
Yep.
how did you not see this coming? Like, this was just a job for them. Oh, but they had me so convinced. Oh, but they were so nice. It was work. And so
Yep.
people get, I think they start getting drunk on their own power. They start
Yep.
feeling like I'm the man, I'm the woman, I'm the boss. And they start to allow a side of them to rise up that says, well, you only live once. Let's do it. And
Yep.
not realizing that that circle is going to come right on back around. And now I have to deal with the results of this behavior. What I did, yep, that was me. And so then you're forced to say, oh, well, no, they're lying. Oh, that's unfounded. You know that was you. You know you were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like we keep having this same conversation, and then like with Meghan Markle. I'm sure you heard about it, Prince
Yeah.
Harry's wife and all that came out with Oprah's
Yes.
interview. Like,
Interview. Yes. 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 Makes you wonder.
I just can't. My thing is I'm glad she got out of there. I'm glad Harry took his wife and his family to safety because that took a real man to stand up for his spouse against the whole royal family. Okay, that whole concept of you're leaving, what? It took somebody to say, I'm going to put love and my inner feelings over what people think, and I'm going to live my life. So kudos to them. But,
Right.
people keep rehashing the same story about, how certain skin tones and ethnicities are treated. It's their culture. So why are we still having the same conversation? I don't get it. Like, they
That's what I
really
said.
know who they are.
Right. This ain't nothing new, guys, and I think it's another distraction. I think there's something deeper going on in the palace, but we'll never know right now. Things have to just play itself out. But you're right. This is
Absolutely.
nothing new.
Absolutely. So this conversation is, listen, we don't went from A to Z
Wow.
conversation.
A to Z. Yep.
You know. So
I
I want
love it.
to give Coach K an opportunity to let you know how you can reach him, and we're going to move on.
Yes, yes. Anyone that's looking that may feel stuck in life, I'm a person, a professional life coach. In particular, I do a lot of intuitive life purpose and career coaching. So if you feel like you're stuck in life, hit your boy up. You can hit me on email at ka at intuitiveintellect.co. That's ka at intuitive, and then intellect is intellect.co. Shoot me a quick email, and I can give you a 30-minute free consultation to see if we can have a match. Also, you can reach me at area code 980-272-8287. Again, that's 980-272-8287. And also, you can reach me on the different social media platforms. You can reach me on Facebook with just my name, with Kendall Anderson. And then you can reach me on Instagram with Coach Ka, which is Coach KA underscore 569, or Twitter with my name again with Kendall Anderson.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I want to give a shout out to Mr. Carlyle, who is doing movies. He will be back. Of course, he's an international
Yes.
designer and
Wow.
stylist. And if you need him to help you with your wardrobe, your show, there is a big fashion show coming up in Atlanta, May the 15th. But he has lots and lots of experience. So if you're interested in moving your brand to the next level, reach out to Mr. Carlyle. He is on Instagram at I am Mr. Carlyle, IAMMRCARLYLE. And of course, his phone number is 470-418-7277. I have been one of your co-hosts. It's my pleasure to speak with you. I keep hearing that you're watching, you're listening, you're sharing. And listen, if it's something that we can do to uplift your day and to give you a perspective on something, we've done our job. But please do share our program. Let people know that Conversations of the Soul is here. You can watch it every Thursday on Boss Television Network, as well as anytime on YouTube at I am Kiki Michelle. And I just want to let you know I wear several hats. Take a look at my website, see what service you need. I definitely will make sure that myself or one of my colleagues can help you to get to the next level. I am KikiMichelle.com. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you all. Be blessed. Have a great day.